Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones.
Look, stop. Would you do it the way you always used to? I let the last one go. Do it the good old-fashioned vaudeville, that we all want.
All right. Okay, let me drink my bottle of maple syrup before I start to get my voice in condition.
Like some Barnum and Bailey.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast in which we celebrate and discuss the film Raiders of the Lost Ark 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mulvern.
I'm Jerry Porter.
And I'm Andrew Hawthorn from the No Time for Heroics podcast.
Welcome back, Andrew.
Thanks. I feel really inordinately welcomed after that intro. That was very welcoming.
You didn't know it was that kind of production.
No, I'm pretty excited about it, though, now. I feel like I'm in show business.
Yeah.
It's a hot break, kid.
None of this flaccid crap around here.
All right. I was trying to be casual. Listen.
I don't know. Fly casual.
I don't know. Announce casual. Casual minute 83. That's what we're here for. It begins with the Ark caravan getting underway, and it ends with Indy racing after it on a horse. And, last minute was ending with people getting into the cars and stuff. Belloc gets in. Looks like now it's time for everything to get going. And Dietrich sits down next to him. It looks like he gives himself whiplash, like he's never sat down in a car before. He totally racks his neck as he sits down. Like he expected it to be taller or something.
See, I'd call, again, that's probably a little Yahweh rumpus there. Just a little bit. Like, you know what? I'm going to give him whiplash.
Yeah, I'm going to trip him on the way into the car.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just the god of petty crime.
He's the god of marbles.
My god is going to wedgie you when you least suspect it. He is truly great.
Aw, Yahweh. Not another swirly.
Like, I won't be able to play hockey next week.
Now, I've got a question for you guys here. Like right after this great montage, we cut back to this kind of close encounters scene where the three, Indy, Sala, and Marion are all on that little hill looking down. Mm-hmm. And Marion, her dress is just completely in tatters, and it's it's all ripped up, and she's completely unresponsive this entire minute. And first I was like, is this shock and exposure? But then, and I know I kind of have become the conspiracy theory guy here, but is it possible Marion is dead? And from this point out, Indy is he feels so guilty that she's dead because of him, that he imagines her as his ideal, what Marion would do and be for the rest of the movie.
Wow.
Pete, this whole podcast thing when we started out was just supposed to be fun, man.
Yeah. Now it's like Heaven Can Wait or something.
Who was on the dusty knoll?
Well, here's the thing, too. It's not even necessarily Marion. Maybe Indy grabbed the wrong person when he was in that Well of Souls.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that's a dress, whatever, you're Marion. And he's just dragging some Egyptian, stone layer behind him now.
Sure.
Well, you know what? I mean, to support your theory here, Pete, I was thinking, what is Marion using for shoes right now? Because the sand, I mean, she doesn't have any shoes, right? They're at least one of them's riddled with a legless lizard. So, and we all know, I mean, the sand is probably 130 degrees?
Yeah.
Maybe 160 degrees. So that's a good point, Pete. I mean, maybe she's lifeless. It's not bothering her.
And if I learned anything from conspiracy theories of my youth, wasn't the proof that Paul McCartney is dead as he wasn't wearing shoes?
Oh, right. On Abbey Road. Yeah. Either that or she's Snoke.
Oh, Jesus.
Everything comes clear.
See?
Yeah.
It's all shadowy reflections. Oh, so okay. Indy helps me out here. I've been confused about where we are since Belloc taunted Marion and said that it's 3 weeks in every direction in the desert. Because I had always thought that Cairo was like literally within spitting distance. Like you could, you're across the street and you're in Cairo. But now Indy's like, get back to Cairo. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a ways from here. It might not be 3 weeks like Belloc was saying, but we're not actually in Cairo.
Well,
they're outside of Cairo.
Yeah.
Sorry, Porkins. Jeez.
Well,
You don't have to go.
What I don't understand is he's telling them to go to England. He tells them to go to England.
Yeah.
And then, which is where they're all meeting. And then, who the hell is Omar?
Omar's a dude.
I think he just adds to the idea where Indy's got a guy in every corner of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he
But I think
borrows Salah's guys.
he's telling them to go to England because he knows the next scene is filmed at Elstree. And they're like, listen, get me a copy of this script and get over there.
The Ark belongs in the British Museum.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. If there's one place, if you get anything from antiquity of any value at all, the last place you want to go with it is England.
Yeah. I think when you're in like Nazi occupied desert, you kind of like, you know what? I'm going to head to England. I'm going to head to one of those allied places. Do we have allies yet at this point in 1936? Was it the allies and the Axis?
Technically a war yet.
Yeah.
But
they're gonna do that whole Elgin Marble thing.
Man.
They're kind of sticky fingered. Yeah.
Exactly.
They still haven't given those up either. So they're not really gonna. That arc is gonna be next to the Rosetta Stone. It's gonna be a really nice display, but you're not gonna get it.
And the Egyptians probably keep or the Greeks probably keep asking, when can we? What about those Elgin marbles? What Elgin marbles?
Yeah, they do.
What Elgin marble? They do the same thing with the Ark.
Yeah.
Can I parrot that and say what Elgin? You've been talking about the Elgin marbles since we started this, I think. And I go, oh yeah, totally, the Elgin marbles, and it's like Scrooge McDuck. I actually don't know what you're talking about. What's the Elgin marble, or marbles?
Well, Pete, you just recently saw them, right?
Yeah, well, the British, like in the 1800s, took a bunch of the marble statues and carvings from the front of the Parthenon in Athens, and they built an entire wing of the British Museum just for these sculptures, and they have very pronouncedly never given them back to Greece.
Yeah.
Oh, why would they?
And not only that, like they basically Greece was occupied by. I'm not going to get into the geopolitical ramifications of this, but Greece was occupied by Turkey at the time. They asked the Turkish government if they could take them. Turkey said no. They took them anyway. And not the British. This one guy, Elgin. He sawed them off the front of the Parthenon.
That's classy.
Even now, when you go see them in the British Museum, you're in this room of like torsos and arms and severed heads, and you're thinking like, oh, the ravages of time. But each one has a little label under it that says, oh, the head of this torso is in Poland. The arms are upstairs in another room.
Oh my God!
It's really rough treatment of historical artifacts there.
That's a classic Indiana Jones move too, to just saw off the saw off the Parthenon.
Saw off the parts once and then just leave the rest.
Yeah. Dude just crashed in Anubis through a wall.
Yeah.
Sure. Lord Elgin is the first Indiana Jones, really, I think.
Right.
There you go.
At least he didn't set the rest of the Parthenon on fire when he left.
True.
Yeah. He had that much class.
Well, this minute actually has, I think, an enormous little quote from Indy that we've all been saying, but we finally get to hear him admit that, he says, quote, "I don't know, I'm making this up as I go."
Yeah.
It's got to be among the top 3 most quotable lines in the movie, right? Like maybe the number 1. I don't know.
I mean, but the thing is that's interesting about it is, we've been talking about it throughout the whole podcast, that how self-aware is he? And in this case, he's very self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes him more of an asshole.
Yeah, well, maybe he's only self-aware about some aspects of his personality. Like maybe if you challenged him on being like, hey, you know what? Well, like Belloc does. Belloc's like, hey, you're just like me. You're a son of a bitch who takes stuff that doesn't belong to you. You don't care.
But that's what's so tough about that is like Belloc is the bad guy.
Yeah.
And you hate to be like, oh God, Belloc's got a great point. I mean, and geez, like he's really smart and he's sort of politely calling out Indiana Jones. He's not even like, coming at him. He's just like, hey man, you and I are the same. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I like Indiana Jones' retort is the same one that I would make, which is the difference is the Nazi thing.
Right.
Like, what about Der Ferber? There's one specific difference between us.
Right. Oh, so then we get...
we cut here. When this cuts here, this is I probably said this 10 times before, but this is definitely my favorite minute and scene of the entire movie.
With the horse?
With the horse. Like Indy comes charging out of the tent with that white horse, and the music just swells, and the crowd is all sitting there, and he comes flying past, and like the way they film it, when he looks like he's going 1,000 miles an hour, and
they do
people
the wave.
all stand up and shout. Yeah, they do the wave.
Why are these guys shouting and standing up and yelling stuff?
Somehow this image elementally says adventure, right?
Yeah.
You've got Indiana Jones on a horse riding as fast as he can. And this also sets up one of the images that sold the whole movie, which was the painting Jim Steranko did of him leaping from the truck or from a horse onto a truck that we're going to see pretty shortly, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the music is spectacular when they show the horse. I know, Pete, you've always talked about how you found that music so rousing.
Yeah, I used to watch this like in college when I had an exam the next day, or like when I have to do something at work I don't want to do. I will literally just throw this scene into the VCR, like give me going.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm wondering, like, at first, does he steal the horse?
Yeah, because there are two guys that come running out. There's a guy in white and a guy in purple, and they're mad, like they're coming out and they're kind of waving their arms.
Yeah,
and then he runs over one of them. Which is horrible. Like, tramples one of the guys. Like, he just runs it right over.
He's just thinking, well, if I can't steal your antiquities, I'm stealing your modes of transportation.
How old is this horse? Does it count as an antique?
I'm not leaving here empty-handed.
And then it's like some of the people are mad and some of the people are cheering. And it's kind of, first of all, you're not supposed to leave the keys in the horse. Whoever just,
yeah.
And was the horse just in the tent, or did he ride it through the tent and pause?
Yeah, I think it was behind because you could see him kind of ride through from the back.
Yeah, just to be cool, just to show off a little bit. But yeah, what are they yelling about? Like, are they like, "Hey, we love that guy, and that's his horse. Come back."
I don't think they like him.
Yeah.
They've been given no reason to like this guy.
Right. You're the guy who shot the guy with the sword back in Cairo.
Well, they have this scene, and they're kind of all sitting around, and I was the Egyptians are sitting around, and I was wondering, since they discovered the Lost Ark last night, does everybody just have the day off? Like, yes. Are they all wildly unemployed right now?
They might be. They have to go back to Salah's union and find the next thing. Or something.
Wait for Howard Carter to call again?
Yeah. Guys got anything else?
Wait for the next one.
Lord Elgin to come on in.
But what is it? We keep saying that, like, at least Pete and I do, that, like, all these guys in the desert, all these, like, scenes of, like, lines of people dotting the desert horizon and stuff. Why does that only make us think of Close Encounters? Aren't there plenty of movies that have deserts in them with people?
But I never think of Lawrence of Arabia.
It's Close Encounters.
Yeah, it is.
That one scene in Close Encounters. It's not even like a big part of the movie. Well, it works.
If they were digging up stuff in Wadi Rum, trying to find antiquities in the desert, in Lawrence of Arabia, maybe.
Right. Trying to find an oasis.
I love how we just have a brief collection of shots here just before the Raiders' march kicks in. And it just sets up all the players for the next scene. We get a shot of the truck, shot of a bunch of thugs around the Ark in the back. We get a shot of the armed guys in the Jeep, Tote and Belloc in the convertible. It's just like, here's these guys, here's these guys. We've got the whole board set, and then the fun can begin in the next scene.
Yeah.
And I like that Tote is a close sitter. Like he's that jerk. He sits right next to the driver. Like there's all this space. Like if you look in the back seat, Belloc and Dietrich have all this space, and they're just kind of relaxing. And Tote sits right next to his legs touching the driver's leg.
And he's like, "Can I turn on the air conditioning?"
What's a convertible, sir?
Oh, do you like this radio station? They're like, "We've got the roof down. There's no point. Stop touching that."
I can't stand the Eagles, Tote.
You're sweating on my dials.
Well, there is a great there's a great shot at second 52 where you see Johnny Punch Clock Nazi chauffeuring all those guys, Tote, Belloc, and Dietrich, and it's that shot where they're all in the car, and you just have to wonder. I mean, is he just like, are you kidding me? Like, and Toad is sitting here in the front seat, like of all the cars.
Yeah.
I got, the other guys are just like, oh, there's, that guy over there, and that guy carries a machine gun.
They could be working that gun on the back of that Jeep.
Yeah, he's got like the triumvirate of bad guys.
And he's already having a terrible day. Like, look how sunburned this poor guy is. He's beet red.
He's not prepared for this day.
They call this pulling the tote stick. Oh man, you got to show for that guy around.
I got to be the tote.
Yep.
That's my tote joke for the day.
Well, it's there's one other scene. Like you mentioned the shot of the Ark in the back of the truck, and I'm wondering, like, all right, I mean, you're getting this for Der Ferber. I mean, does anybody really feel safe that the Ark is just sitting? The Ark of the Covenant is just sitting there in the back of the truck. like it feels a little loosey-goosey to me.
Yeah, it's next to the arm bar that you got from your brother-in-law.
Yeah, I'd be really anxious.
I think Belloc is anxious. I think that this whole thing was just a kind of a quick slapdash necessity kind of thing. They were going to fly it out on that wing, and they were going to tie it down and have it packed in with lots of German packing peanuts. It was going to be great. But now they're just like, we got to get out of here really quick. So, I don't know, throw 12 guys in, they'll just hold it.
They'll just hold. And what's interesting is when they do that, they carry the Ark the same way that the Hebrews do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They still sort of cart it around with the poles and 4 dudes or whatever.
I like that they've also already spray painted their logo on Indy's box. Like they're just taking credit for this whole thing.
It's ours now.
Yeah, we totally found that. We just followed the map room. It was no big deal.
They took out the Nazi stencil, and Belloc was like, maybe just write Belloc on it. The property of Belloc.
He's got his little French flag stencil, and he's like, never mind.
Well, you wonder, though, I mean, when you carry around the Ark of the Covenant like that, they're sitting there in the desert. There's a million people digging for it. What did Indy think? Like, how did they plan to get it out of there? Like, oh, there's an Ark-sized box that's walking away from that digging site.
He should have hacked all the gold off with an axe and then just stuffed that in a bag. And then
I don't know. I mean, they should have put it, I don't know, maybe a spherical box or something, a ball of twine. I don't know what, but not an Ark-shaped box.
Or were they all just skeptics and never really thought they were going to find it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but they did bring it down there. They brought the box down there.
Indy's like, put it in this Ark-shaped box. And Solid's like, I don't think this is a good idea. Now write Ark on it.
Right. Don't open near Belloc. Well, all right. Does anybody have anything else for minute 83? Minute of the horse? Because if not, then it's time for me to turn to Andrew and say, hey, Andrew, where can people find you and your show online?
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
You can find me and my show and my co-host Anthony over at notimeforheroics.com. And you can find us on iTunes and all of your podcast purveying places and check out what we've got going. We've got a couple of theme months on there too. You might want to check out. We just did Fantastic February back in the day there, and we got to watch Fanforstic 4, the kind of bomb that happened a while back. So you can dive off of Raiders of the Lost Ark, possibly one of the greatest films ever made, right into that. So it'll be a nice chaser.
You need to do that sometimes. Do the good and the bad.
You don't appreciate the good unless you've seen the bad. So.
Right. You take them both, and there you have the facts of life. Sorry. Pete, where can people find us and make bad TV theme show puns?
Well, you can find our podcast on IndianaJonesMinute.com, and we have a special page on Facebook that you may not have seen. It's a group you can join called Indiana Jones Minute and a Listener's Crusade, and everybody's talking about the show.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. I like it.
Yeah, it is.
I hang out there.
You do?
Yes, Andrew's there. Several past guests are there as well, and there are lots of polls that Tom puts up.
Yeah, when I remember to.
Well, I feel one now. How rousing is the White Stallion music? Like, very rousing, the most rousing, somewhat rousing.
See, like right now, I know I'm not going to put that one up. I'm going to teach you how to do it, Jerry, and then you can put one up.
All right, that's fine.
Or you can ask your mom.
That's fine.
But all of you, go put up your own poll somewhere, and then come back here tomorrow for minute 84 of Raiders of the Lost Ark here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Can I put my feet out the window here?
Please, sir.
In the Hotel California. I love this channel.